New tonight at 10, Cirque Italia is in town, complete with the only traveling water stage in the nation. Next.
Hey, check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Cool.
A new study shows the number of people killed by police is undercounted by as much as half, why researchers say many incidents are being left out of the government's count.
And we have been seeing some rain showers across the area this evening. Tracking more of that as we head into the weekend. A full check your weekend forecast is coming up.
Plus, you may have seen that big top in the mall parking lot. KIMT News 3's Anthony Monzon joined the circus to give us a look inside.
KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 10.
Thanks so much for joining us for KIMT News 3 at 10. I'm George Mallet. First tonight, we've made it to the weekend after a warm, decidedly warm October day. Take a live look now at downtown Rochester. You can see the Plummer Building fully awash in pink. October 1st marking the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. KIMT Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White joins me now. Aaron, what are you tracking on this weekend?
Hey there, George. Well, I'm tracking at least some rain showers to start off our weekend. We got some of those out there right now. A lot of it has really ended for the most part. We saw some rain showers moving through North Iowa and southern Minnesota. The bulk of the rain now moving into Wisconsin, but there are still a few showers there just north of Mason City. They're north of Northwood, moving into Minnesota, moving towards the Rochester area, seeing a few scattered light sprinkles here and there. So we will continue with that through the overnight hours into your Saturday. And overall, just looking at just those light showers here and there, we'll keep them off and on in the forecast for tomorrow, even possibly into Sunday morning. But tracking more sunshine as we finish off the weekend. I'll have a full check of your weekend forecast and a look ahead to next week coming up here in just a bit.
Thanks, Aaron. New at 10, more than a year after the killing of George Floyd, new research is questioning the official record on the number of police killings in America. The study finding more than half of those deaths are mislabeled. Protests following the murder of George Floyd brought a renewed focus to police killings. We're now learning such deaths may have been undercounted for decades.
Little more than half are missed in the official statistics.
Dr. Chris Murray at the University of Washington studied police violence over the past 40 years. Analyzing non-government databases, his team found nearly 31,000 total deaths from police violence, compared to the national government database showing 13,700, a discrepancy of more than 17,000 deaths. The study calls police killings an urgent public health crisis, a crisis affecting some races and ethnicities disproportionately.
The numbers of police, deaths due to police violence are more than threefold higher for Black Americans compared to white non-Hispanics.
The research shows nearly 60% of those deaths are misclassified in the government database. Some are thought to be clerical errors, but researchers say it also raises questions of bias among medical examiners.
Often medical examiners are, related to or part of police forces, so they may have a pretty strong incentive to not be recording all of these police violence deaths.
Murray tells us this underreporting matters because the only way we as a society can manage a problem is if we measure it well. Fact is, this new study underscores a grim reality. Despite years of scrutiny, criticism, protests, and calls for reform, no government agency tracks how often law enforcement officers in America kill people. Well, October is being recognized as Cyber Security Awareness Month here in Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz made a proclamation today announcing the recognition, serving to remind all Minnesotans about the importance of cybersecurity education and awareness. The governor's office says the need to identify, protect against, and respond to cyber threats grows as critical infrastructure and other aspects of our society increasingly rely on technology. People struggling with homelessness and other housing needs now have another option here in Olmsted County for help. Today, the Housing Stability Team of Olmsted County opening a satellite office called the Empowering Connections and Housing Outreach Center. The office is located next to the Rochester Community Warming Center. Staff will have resources available on a wide variety of housing-related topics, including eviction, abusive living, homelessness, and even financial help. Coming up, MNsure rates are going down next year. Look at how much families can save.
We've provided the guidance and we've explained what needs to happen, and they are not following it.
Plus, Minnesota health officials report schools not following COVID guidelines despite almost 300 outbreaks in schools since the end of August.
KIMT News 3 at 10, live from Rochester. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Katie Lang and George Mallet. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening now from your community. We are coverage you can count on.
With you.
So, yep, check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
New at 10, Minnesota schools are reporting a record number of COVID cases. MDH saying there have been 275 school outbreaks since the end of August. That's an average of 12 cases per outbreak. John Lauritsen shows us how it's forced some districts to change protocols.
We had a big increase again this last week with 2,388 reported student cases and 408 staff cases.
The Department of Health says the number of COVID cases right now more than doubles what schools saw last fall. An increase was expected with the Delta variant and with students back in class. But Director of Infectious Disease Chris Erzman says the numbers are a concern, and she believes it's because many districts aren't following best practices.
This year is different, and we've provided the guidance and we've explained what needs to happen, and they are not following it.
The guidelines include universal masking in schools, regardless of vaccination status, regular testing for students, keeping kids who are sick at home, and contact tracing when cases are detected.
We are hearing from parents, from school nurses about the fact that, when there are situations with cases that the best practices or our guidance is not being followed.
Outbreaks are defined as school buildings where there are 5 or more confirmed cases of COVID-19 in students or staff during a 2-week period. Erzman says there is now grant funding available for schools looking to provide on-site testing.
Every school district, charter school, or tribal school in the state is eligible to apply for this funding.
Now, the application to apply for those grants has been extended to October 15th. Erzman says so far only 44% of eligible school districts have applied. Minnesota families who get their health insurance through MNsure at an average of $684 per year will have more plans to choose from next year. The Minnesota Department of Commerce and MNsure releasing information today on rates and options for 2022 in advance of open enrollment, which begins November 1st. Average premiums will be lower because more Minnesotans than ever before will be eligible for tax credits to lower their costs thanks to federal stimulus funding.
It's a water show in a parking lot. I'm KIMT News 3's Anthony Monzon with a look inside Cirque Italia in town through Sunday.
And I'm tracking a few more rain showers as we head into the weekend, but we may also see a little bit of sunshine, and a full check of that weekend forecast is coming up here in just a few minutes.
Call it an unlikely show and an even more unlikely place. Cirque Italia is in Rochester for the weekend, setting up its elaborate and dramatic traveling water stage beneath the tent at Apache Mall, of all places. KIMT News 3's Anthony Monzon didn't just take the show in earlier today, he participated and joins me now with a first-hand look at really a spectacular show, huh, Anthony?
A lot of adjectives to describe this afternoon, George. This is all about making dreams come true in the Med City. That's what Cirque Italia promises to those willing to join them outside the Apache Mall, which they've successfully transformed into a surreal setting they liken to a vivid dream brought to life.
It's a really, really unique show.
Cross the curtain inside the big top parked at the Apache Mall and witness lights, adventure, and high-octane 50s-inspired action people of all ages can enjoy.
We have a show that's a 1950 center, so we will see a lot of rock and roll. Like I say, Elvis Presley, Madonna, you know, a lot of colors. We have the costumes for the girls with the little poodle from 1950s. And also we have this stage that costs $500,000. There is only 3 in the world. 1 in Dubai, 1 in Vegas, and 1 right here.
On that traveling water stage, the only of its kind in the U.S., master jugglers, contortionists, and a barrage of performers from across the world pull out all the stops to keep you on your toes.
You expect to see performers from everywhere. We have people from Brazil, Argentina, Portugal, French, Cuba, Mexico. So you will see all these countries getting together to entertain you and your family.
The show's all-star team trains day and night to take you inside the mind of a 50s-obsessed boy who's fallen asleep. One of them, fifth-generation circus performer Emiliano Fusco, pictured here toying with the prospect of giving me some shut-eye, albeit by way of concussion. After drying the beading sweat from my forehead, Fusco shared why this experience stands apart from atop the stage, too.
You know, I work in a lot of circuses, like in big buildings when you don't get to see the reaction of people because they're far away. Here, it's more intimate. You see all the reaction, the people, the faces, and of course they make you feel good about it. You know, when you do something, you work really hard for it, and that pays off when people really show what you do.
We have moms saying that my 2-year-old son, he don't even eat his cotton candy because he was watching the show. He was so entertained that he don't even eat his cotton candy. Oh, I lost my nose!
Alex is a clown. It's literally written on his business card. But hearing how seriously he and those around him take their jobs, I asked to see proof before my own 2 eyes, even if it cost me one. An experience as impressive as it was immobilizing. But talent isn't the only factor taking Cirque Italia to the next level. Family, in many ways, is the foundation of this international team as it travels far and wide, yielding more than just wet working.
Most of us are related by family and friends. In some way, we all travel with our families, children, pets, grandparents, brothers, sisters, which makes Cirque Italia, it's a family. It's a family show, and I think that you can definitely feel that when you come here.
We only have 3 weeks in the whole year off. That is December. We have 3 weeks off, and then we start the season again. So normally we start from Florida, we go all the way to New York, Massachusetts, and we drive all the way back down. So it's a family, entertaining families.
And catch this dazzling show while you can. Cirque Italia is only in town through this Sunday. Tickets are free for toddlers below age 2, and discounts are also available for any parents coming with their kids. George?
Great stuff. Thank you, Anthony. The Water Circus was created back in 2012 and, as you just saw, has advanced into an innovative traveling show touring the United States and the world.